Ndị be anyị kenekwanụ m unu. Anyị si ka nke onye chiri ya zerụkwa. Anyị si n'ụbọchị nke taa dịrị na anyị na mma. Na ihe ya dịka echi na echi ada agwụ agwụ. Otu anyị kwuru otu akọ ya dịrịrị. Ise dịka o si dị, ihe a bụ Eastern News 24. Ka anyị si na-ewetara ya bụ ozi ọnụ ụjọ gị na ugbu a n'iru akwụkwọ gbasịta maka ya bụ ife unu na anụ na-eme n'obodo anyị nọ n'ime ya. Anụ gburu onwe a na-azụ n'ala Igbo. Ya bụ ife ka na-ewetara na Eastern News 24. Ya wetara n'iru akwụkwọ bụ n'ụbọchị nke taa bụ according to one of the Biafran activists, and he quotes, "Stay on the update on Biafran Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa's court case na Finland." O nwere ife menu. Mazi Simon Ekpa's lawyer has indeed a marvelous, well, when I mean excellent in that court sitting. So ya bụ ife ka wetara n'ụbọchị nke taa. Maka kwelu nkwa anyị ga-ewetesiri ka ya bụ ife si wee gaa in details. So pay attention to the activists wetara ya bụ ozi n'ụbọchị nke taa n'iru akwụkwọ dịka ihe gị ekabalụ kere ya tia n'ife niile ahụ okwu n'iru akwụkwọ. Over to you, sir.
Today's court proceedings, and this is not a proceedings from today, being the 18th of June of 2025. Hope this is clear for every single one to understand. For better context, yesterday we made a video disclosing some part of the events that unfolded in the court. This video is going to be a continuation from yesterday. This is more like a part 2. Yes, with that out of the way, just in case you want to fact check us, or just in case you want to get your own copy of every single thing that will be discussed in this video, showing right now on your screen is a website and an email address that you can actually reach out to and order an official transcript coming from the court session. Mind you, we use illustrative pictures and generative pictures to better display and portray our points. These pictures are in no way, shape or form affiliated with the ongoing trial of Mr. Simon in the court of law. With that out of the way, let's continue this video from where we stopped yesterday. Remember that the prosecuting judge in yesterday's video, on yesterday's court hearing, presented a lot of tweets, a lot of data, and some news articles from Nigeria from Simon, which was presented before Simon to react and to answer to. Yes, remember that at some point, the presiding judge asked the court to go for a recess, that is to go for a break. And this is the point or the part where we ended our video yesterday. So let's continue. After the break, after the court went on a short recess, the judge kickstarted the whole court session by making a speech. He said, and I quote, "Ladies and gentlemen of the court, we are now resuming proceedings after a short recess. Before the break, we listened to a number of key pieces of evidence brought forward against the defendant. This included video material, verbal testimony from the witnesses, and other documents which the prosecution argues tie the defendant to the event under investigation. The court acknowledges what has been presented so far. However, as with any serious matter before this branch, we must not rely solely on impressions. The court must be thorough and certain. That being said, I will invite the prosecution to continue if there is further evidence to be presented, whether physical, digital, or testimonial. This is the time to bring it forward." The prosecuting lawyer responded by saying, "Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, the prosecution does have additional evidence to present. What has been submitted so far only begins to paint the full picture. We believe the next pieces of evidence will further establish the defendant's direct involvement in the matters before the court. With your permission, we intend to present our next batch of evidence and documents from Simon's official Twitter page." The prosecuting lawyer also went a step further to call on Simon to take the stance for a cross-examination. The lawyer said, "On the 17th of November of 2024, you made a post on your Twitter page where you stated that wanted criminal want to teach me how to run a government and how to fight for Biafra." Well, showing right now on your screen is a tweet the prosecuting lawyer is making reference to, because we had to do an in-depth research to get all of these tweets as stated in the court session. So the prosecuting lawyer is saying on the 17th of November of 2024, Mr. Simon released this tweet where he made a claim that wanted criminal want to teach me how to run a government and how to fight for the Biafra. The lawyer said, looking at this tweet, the key word here is government. Do you know the meaning of government? He asked Simon. And Simon wanted to reply, but he said, no, hold on, I'm not done with my questions. I will explain what government means to you regardless. And he continued by saying, government refers to the system or group of people that governs a community, state, or country, exercising authority and control. It involves the process of making and enforcing laws, providing public services, and promoting the common good. In essence, it is the machinery through which a society organizes itself and manages its affairs. So, Simon, which state, which country, or which community were you governing at this particular point in time? Because from your tweet, you claim that someone wants to teach you how to run a government. Which government or which country were you leading at that particular point in time? Interestingly, Simon wanted to respond to these questions presented by the prosecuting lawyer, but this lawyer still called him short. He said, "I'm not done with my questions. Please hold on." The other question is, in your tweet, you made mention of the fact that you want to fight for Biafra, which is clearly stated in this post. How are you fighting for Biafra? The prosecuting lawyer also went a step further to say that feel free, you are very free to seek for legal advice from your lawyer. Yes, if I ask you any question that you can't clearly answer, please feel free to ask for legal advice from your lawyer. Hope that is clear. And Simon said, yes, it is clear. Can I answer your questions now? And the prosecuting lawyer said, yes, feel free. But then before we show you the responses coming from Simon or his replies to all of the questions, let's explain this tweet showing right now on your screen. As you can clearly see, Simon attached a Facebook post coming from a lady or an individual known as Chinasa, where she claimed that out of 20 million Biafrans living in diaspora, and one couldn't find 12 Biafran youths to play soccer. That's fraud and deceptive. Chinasa was making reference to the point where Mr. Simon made or created a football club or a football team in Europe. Showing right now on your screen is a quick image and illustrations of what I'm talking about. So Simon created a footballing team in Europe, which consisted of 100% foreigners and whites. So individuals were asking Simon, why can't you get Africans? Why can't you get Biafrans to play for this football club? Why are we using whites or foreigners to represent us in the foreign stage? And that is when Simon responded by saying, wanted criminal want to teach me how to run a government. That is to say, Chinasa is a wanted criminal, and Chinasa wants to teach him how to run a government and also how to fight for Biafra. This is the post that the prosecuting lawyer was making reference to in the court of law. Hope this is actually very clear to understand. So let's go back to the courtroom and see how Simon answered the questions coming from the prosecuting lawyer. So Simon kickstarted by saying, first of all, Mr. Prosecutor, this particular questions or your question doesn't need me or require me to seek for help or ask my lawyer for legal guidance. This tweet displayed right now is actually very easy to understand and straight to the point. I organized a football event here in Europe. Biafra as a name, as an entity, had its own team, and individuals from all parts of the world and countries represented the Biafran Football Club. The word government used in my tweet represents this Biafran Football Club that engaged in footballing events here in Europe. And this is what I can remember. Like you said, this tweet was released on the 17th of November of 2024. It's almost 7 months from now. I can't vividly remember every single details in that tweet. But from what I can understand and from what I can remember right now, the word government there was covering or was used to depict the footballing team. I don't know what you have in mind. I don't know what you are thinking, but please, if you have further questions regarding my tweets, please ask me. And the prosecuting lawyer said, so in your own words, the word government used in your tweet was in reference to the football team you created? Simon answered by saying, yes. The lawyer also said, you used the word fight for Biafra. What are you fighting for? And Simon said, football is a competitive game. It's a contact sport. I was urging my team to fight and achieve victory. I was urging my team to put on their very, very best by fighting. Not fighting in violent form, but playing the game so as to achieve success and to become the very best. And this is the full meaning attached to my tweet. Mr. Prosecutor, kindly tell me what you think about this tweet, because I feel like you have a different understanding and a different perspective of this singular tweet coming from last year. And the prosecuting lawyer responded by saying, see, I'm here. I'm the one who is going to ask you questions. It's called cross-examination for a reason and not vice versa. I'm the one placed in the position to ask questions. Like I said, feel free to ask your lawyer to guide you through. If I ask you any question and you don't have an answer to, please feel free to consult your lawyer. He's just here, seated very close to you. Don't ask me questions. I'm the one who is going to cross-examine you. Hope that is very, very clear. And Simon said, yes, it is. The lawyer also went a step further to say that I can see you are trying to defend the undefendable here. Your responses and explanations doesn't make sense, Mr. Simon. I put it to you that this tweet meant governing the Biafran movement. And you are a leader of that movement. You are the prime minister of that movement. And you have issued countless orders from Finland that were executed in the southeastern region of Nigeria. Don't stand here and act like you don't have an idea or you don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, if you find this video very, very interesting, please do well to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you'll be notified whenever we drop any court video just like this one. So let's go back to the courtroom and see what followed suit afterwards. The prosecuting lawyer also put up a tweet released by Simon on the 16th of November of 2024. Showing right now on your screen is that tweet the prosecuting lawyer put up in the court session. This tweet reads, the Biafra Republic government fundraiser is inviting you to a scheduled Zoom meeting, and the topic is Biafra Government Liberation Fundraiser, and the time is the 16th of November of 2024, 7 p.m. The prosecuting lawyer also put up another tweet from Simon, and this time it was released or posted on the 16th of November. That same day, Simon posted the previous one for fundraising. The prosecuting lawyer said, as you can see, in this particular tweet, you are responding to a user who called you OPM, which he claimed meant online prime minister. And based out of your response, you claim that online prime minister will stop you and your president from breathing online in your compound, Olodo. And the lawyer also went a step further to say that he managed to translate all of these things, Simon's responses, in good English. He claimed that Simon was telling this individual who called him an online prime minister that he is an online prime minister, but he has managed to stop the president from Nigeria from breathing, and also this individual who called him an OPM from also breathing. The lawyer asked Simon to take a look at this tweet properly because he's going to come back to this tweet and you will need Simon to give a detailed explanation of what he meant by breathing, stopping the president of Nigeria from breathing. The prosecuting lawyer also presented a tweet released by Simon 2 days before he made the previous one. This was posted on the 14th of November of 2024, where he claims, and I quote, I just stopped your criminal president from entering Anambra. Deal with that first. I also banned the murderer Gowon from entering Abia State. He couldn't believe his eyes. After the shame, he ran to London. And Simon wanted to respond or reply to the tweet published by the prosecuting lawyer. But the lawyer said, please hold on, I'm not done with you yet. I'm going to still post all that tweet and I want you to collectively give me a full and detailed explanation of what you meant because we don't have enough time today. As you can see, we are running very, very late. At this point in time, Simon got really angry and he had to make a clear statement addressed to the presiding judges and to the courtroom. Simon said, and I quote, Your Honor, I stand here today not just as a defendant, but as someone who is asking sincerely to be treated fairly in this courtroom. With due respect to the court and to all present, I feel I must express my deep concern about the way this process has unfolded so far. Since the proceedings began, I have listened quietly as serious accusations have been made against me, accusations that strike at the very heart of my character and actions. The prosecution has brought forward its evidence, made its argument, and presented its version of events in great detail. But what troubles me is this: I have not been given a proper and uninterrupted opportunity to speak for myself. Each time I've tried to respond or clarify points, I've felt that I am being dismissed or cut short. And when I do get to speak, it feels like I'm being treated more as a problem than as a person entitled to defend himself. I understand the rules of this court. I know there are procedures, and I do not intend to disrespect them. But fairness is not just about procedure. It's about substance. It's about making sure that no one is condemned before they are being truly heard. And right now, I do not feel heard. I'm not asking for sympathy. I'm not asking for special treatment. I'm simply asking for my right, a basic right, to defend myself without being silenced or overshadowed. If there is evidence against me, I'm prepared to respond to it. If there are witnesses, I'm ready to answer what they say, but I cannot do so properly if I'm not allowed to speak freely and completely. Your Honor, I believe in justice. That is why I'm here. But justice cannot happen if only one side is given room to speak. and that other side is constantly interrupted, doubted, or rushed through. All I ask, with due respect, is for a fair chance, a real chance to explain my side, to challenge what's been said about me, and to do so without fear of being shut down. That is the only way I can clear my name. Thank you, Your Honor. And this, like I said, is a statement and a speech coming from Simon, reacting to the way and manner the prosecuting lawyer has been trying to silence him in all ramifications. The presiding judge had to step in and he asked Simon to respond or reply or react to all of the tweets presented by the prosecuting lawyer. Simon started with the very first tweet. Showing right now on your screen is this tweet where the prosecuting lawyer was asking him to explain the reasons behind the fundraising. Simon said, yes, on this particular day, on the 16th of November of 2024, I asked individuals to raise funds so as to assist the needy, to assist the displaced in the southeastern region of Nigeria. It's raising funds for people displaced a crime. It's raising funds and being a human, being an activist for the less privileged a crime. The prosecuting lawyer did not respond. He asked him, Mr. Prosecutor, I'm talking to you directly. Is raising funds for the less privileged now a crime? Because I see no reason why this will be brought before the courtroom session. I see no reason why this will be a case. This was done entirely for assisting and to helping the less privileged. Just in case you don't know, the southeastern region of Nigeria has experienced a lot of insecurity. And you know insecurity leads to loss of lives and properties. And that is why I had to step in as an activist, as a lawyer, and as a well-meaning individual to help the less privileged. And that is the meaning of this tweet. And I see no reason why you'd be asking me questions about fundraising. Is fundraising now a problem? And the prosecuting lawyer did not reply or respond to Simon's question. At this point in time, Simon moved to the other tweet. Showing right now on your screen is the second tweet where the prosecuting lawyer asked him to explain. He said, as you can clearly see, someone called me an online prime minister, which is correct. I'm a prime minister online. Remember that in the very first court session, I informed you, the prosecuting lawyer, that whatever I've posted on my social media platform shouldn't be taken seriously because I'm just a content creator and an online performer. And on the 16th of November of 2024, this user called me OPM, which is online prime minister, which I clearly accepted. And I responded by saying, online prime minister, will stop you and your president from breathing online in your compound, Olodo. Yes, look at that tweet. I said, stop you and your president from breathing online. Can an individual breathe online? As a human, do you breathe online? No, you don't. You don't breathe online. So why is this tweet a problem? Why are you trying to harass me with this particular tweet? Because I see no reason why this tweet will be brought before the courtroom session. You once asked me to seek legal advice and legal help from my lawyer seated right there, but I think you need an individual to guide you and to give you legal advice because this tweet does not in any way, shape or form pose as a problem or as a threat. I responded to an individual who called me an online prime minister, which I am, clearly. As you can clearly see, I am. And I asked him that I'm an online prime minister, but I've stopped your president from breathing online and in your compound too. So how is this a problem? And the prosecuting lawyer did not respond. And Simon said, I'll move down to the third tweet because I feel like you don't want to give me your own perspective and your own point of view in all my tweets. This tweet was released on the 14th of November of 2024 where I said, I just stopped your criminal president from entering Anambra. Deal with that first. I also banned the murderer, Gowon, from entering Abia State. He couldn't believe his eyes after the shame. He ran to London. Simon also went a step further to claim that on the 14th of November of 2024, please check your records. Please meet the immigration of this country. I was in Finland. So there's no way me being in Finland, I will travel spiritually or mysteriously to Nigeria and stop a president from moving or entering a particular state or region. This doesn't make sense in any way, shape or form. Please check your records. On the 14th of this particular date, I was in Finland. And Simon said, okay, this is what I'm going to do right now. Since you guys have been bringing up false tweets to paint me in a particular way, shape or form, I'm going to respond to this particular tweet clearly. Simon asked his lawyer to come towards the stand and give him a particular document. The lawyer walked up to Simon and handed him his passport. Simon showed the courtroom that, see, I was in Finland during this particular time. I did not leave the country, as you can clearly see. And Simon went a step further to showcase the day he left Finland and the date he arrived in Finland. And the stamps on his passport correlate the fact that on the 14th of November of that said year, Simon indeed was in Finland. So Simon asked the prosecuting lawyer, so as you can see, I was in this country. So how did a man who was in your country travel mysteriously to Nigeria and stop a sitting president from entering a state. Does that make sense to you in any way, shape, or form? The prosecuting lawyer did not respond or reply to Simon. And Simon asked him, if you have any other tweet that you need more clarification on, please kindly bring it forward, because I'm in the mood to answer and give and react to all of your questions. The prosecuting lawyer remained calm and did not say anything at this particular point in time. At this stage, Simon's lawyer had to step in and make a speech addressed to the presiding judge. He tried to inform the judge that his client, as you can clearly see, is innocent, that his tweets and posts have been interpreted wrongly by the prosecuting lawyer. And as you can clearly see, my client has explained his tweets and have provided documents to prove that whatever he said on Twitter correlates with his own mindset. Whatever this man, the prosecutor, is trying to say here in this courtroom is based out of his own interpretation and his own point of view. And these are the words, in summary, coming from Simon's lawyer. The prosecuting lawyer, interestingly, did not react or comment to Simon's responses. He went straight by presenting a tweet coming from Mr. Simon from the 7th of November of 2024, where it reads, and I quote, "Breaking, there will be a space briefing today on the Biafran government under my leadership as the Prime Minister to rectify and assent to many United Nations human rights treaties during our convention in Finland. The time is 4 p.m. Biafra. What can you say about this tweet?" And Simon responded by saying, "First off, I've clearly informed you not to take whatever I say seriously, that whatever I post on my Twitter page is for content creating and to act as a human rights activist and to help my people from the southeastern region of Nigeria." So this tweet, like you said, is coming on the 7th of November of 2024, where I had a space briefing on Twitter, which, like you said, is titled "The Biafran Government Under My Leadership as the Prime Minister." Don't take whatever I say on my Twitter page seriously. I only go there to react to news. I only go there to analyze news. And I go there to place my comments and effortlessly try to unite the southern eastern region of Nigeria together. But as we speak, I can't recall the reason behind this tweet released last year. But if you give me some time, I'll be able to fully understand and fully recall the meanings and the motives behind this particular tweet as you've presented. When you pay close attention to this tweet, you see that I added a point where I said many United Nations human rights treaties. As you can see, working for human rights treaties isn't an offense. It's not illegal under the UN. I was trying to establish a treaty for my people under the UN human rights policies. And that's all I can say about this particular tweet. At this point in time, Simon's lawyer had to step in and make a speech to address the presiding judge. He said, and I quote, "Your Honor, if I may rise at this point to make an application on behalf of my client, Mr. Simon, we are now at a critical stage in this proceedings, particularly with the ongoing cross-examination of the defendant. I do not raise the matter lightly, but I must respectfully request that the cross-examination of my client be discontinued for today and adjourned for a later date. Your Honor, my client has already spent a considerable amount of time on the stand under rigorous questioning. The court is aware that the nature of this case is both sensitive and complex, and the pressure on the defendants during the extended period of interrogation has clearly taken its toll. He is not a seasoned witness. He is just a politician and a public official who is not used to this kind of scrutiny. We are dealing here with accusations of the most serious kind, allegations that touch on matters of incitement, communication, intent, and transnational implications. And while the prosecution is fully within its right to question the defendant, there is also an overriding duty for this court to ensure that the process remains fair, humane, and balanced. Your Honor, I observed my client closely. It is becoming increasingly clear that his ability to provide coherent and focused response is deteriorating, not due to any unwillingness on his part, but rather from the exhaustion and the strain of having to relive events that have been heavily politicized and widely misinterpreted, and in this view, inaccurately portrayed in the media and in this court. Furthermore, the manner in which the cross-examination is unfolding, while within the bounds of adversarial procedure, is bordering on oppressive. It is our submission that the current line of questioning has become repetitive and unnecessarily aggressive. And Simon's lawyer went on and on to give a speech about why the prosecuting lawyer should hold on and stop the cross-examination, but continue on a later date and time. Yes, Simon's lawyer is asking the judge to adjourn the court session. he wants the judge to continue the whole hearing on a later date. But the judge said, no, we have to finish all the conversations today. We are going to finish every single conversation and continue the court session on a fresher note. Well, the prosecuting lawyer went on and on to showcase other tweets and posts coming out from Simon's Twitter page. He also went a step further to bring out some posts on Facebook, some personal conversations of Simon held within different individuals. Yes. But then we are going to conclude and finish up this video by tomorrow. Yes, this whole video is taking so long to finish. We are going to publish a video by tomorrow, 8 p.m. to continue with the court session. But then there's something you need to know at this particular point in time. Before the court session ended yesterday, Simon's lawyer asked the presiding judge to grant Simon the right to meet with family and friends. Yes, so the judge granted Simon and his lawyer permission to meet with some close family members and friends. Showing right now on your screen are some pictures taken after the court session yesterday. As you can clearly see, Simon was seen visibly very happy. And there's a lot of videos online that you can actually go and watch where we could see Simon smiling and having conversations with people, embracing his old friends and meeting up with new individuals who are willing to assist him and to wish him well. But then something interesting happened afterwards. Yes, the moment Simon met with these individuals in the courtroom session or outside the courtroom session, these individuals started taking videos and pictures of him, which was not allowed or which was illegal. Before you can take pictures and videos of an individual standing trial in the court of law in that country, you need to take strict permission from the court. You need to be granted the license to take videos and pictures of a suspect. But these individuals took pictures of Simon without getting official permission to do so. Yes, and that is why even Ngozi Orabueze herself was forced to delete the videos and pictures because she was the very first person to post the videos of Simon in the Pai Jahame District Court after the court hearing. But then in tomorrow's video, we're going to exclusively explain every single thing that happened. We are going to explain every single thing that happened behind the scenes so you can see and understand, because as we speak, these people has placed Simon in a very, very tight corner by taking pictures of him and making videos of him without full permissions and clearance by the court session. So by tomorrow, by 8 p.m. tomorrow, we are going to definitely make a video and cover up every single thing that you need to know. You get to see how this whole thing will affect Simon going forward. You will get to see the conclusion of yesterday's court hearings, and you get to see how everything has been wrapped up in preparation for a later date. Anyways, just in case you missed the very first video from yesterday, just in case you missed the court proceedings coming out yesterday, anyways, we have a video that will clearly showcase and give you a detailed info of what played out in the court session yesterday. So if you want to watch that video and get full updates for yourself and a better picture and clarity, we have a video showing right now on your screen that will show you every single thing that you need to know and understand. So click on this video to watch and understand. Click on this video and I'll see you on the other side. Thanks for watching.
Ndị be anyị ngwadalụ dị nenu dịka unu si wee na-esola n'iru akwụkwọ n'ihe nke anyị na-eme na Eastern News 24. Ka efi were ikwu gbasịta maka ya bụ ife ndị a niile nọ n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị uhuruchi nke taa. Ka efi wee ikwu gbasịta maka ya bụ ife drọpụrụ ife iche n'ụdị nke gị ngwa nke mesịa na ụmụnne m.